Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United beat Burnley 1-0 in what will probably go down as one of the most strangest Manchester United starting 11s ever. We will look back on this on years to come and go, I was there. The performance might not match that, but you will look back on that starting 11 without a shadow of a doubt. Get your player ratings in, mark every player out of 10. And 6 being the average and man of the match. We'll talk about that in a moment. I was just reading the chat before I came live, and actually somebody said that was a hard watch. It was like walking in on your mum and dad having it off. And I thought, no, that's not right, because where's the reward? Like, it might be a hard watch, but at the end of it, you get 3 points and you've just got to take it. What's the reward of you watching your mum and dad have it off? Are you getting something out of that, mate? I don't know what you're talking about, but it certainly was a hard watch. And if it's a hard watch when your mum and dad are having it off, you're a bit of a weirdo, aren't you? Yeah. But the reality is, it's a great result for Manchester United. The performance, look, you pick a team like that and expect a good performance. What do you expect? I said it when the team news came out. Give me a shit 1-0 win and I'll be ecstatic. So I can't sit here and be a hypocrite. And I think everybody else is a hypocrite here, because we saw the team news, especially on the watch along and on social media, and everybody agreed you take a crappy, scrappy 1-0 now. And that's what we've just gone and done. So we can't sit here and moan and go, oh, there's this, there's that and the other. We've won the game, we move on. Imagine if it had been an absolute classic and we'd drawn 4-4 and got a point. No thanks, we need the 3 points and we've taken it. And the Bruno Fernandes goal, by the way, should not be lost in the shit that game was. That goal, all right, it wasn't quite Rooney to Van Persie against Aston Villa to win the league, but it was still a delightful ball from Johnny Evans, which was ridiculously different. That Bruno Fernandes goal will be goal of the week. It might even win goal of the month. It was absolutely incredible. It was of course, that result was the definition of Moments FC. If you're look, this morning when I did the morning show, I was defiant, I was ready, I was pumped up, I was ready to go. And I thought this morning, if we win this game tonight, I'll be sat there going, up yours, have that, and all that. I'm not doing that. I can't do that. Louis, welcome to Members Club. A win is a win, says Alan, and you move on. I do want to talk about Garnacho, though. I think there's a big point to have, because I massively back Ten Hag, but I have to say this publicly because I just want to be honest. And I've got some criticism. So I'll talk about that in a moment. But what I do want to say is that the goal for... Look, we've won that game. I'd be lying if I didn't say that it had the blueprints of many an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer result, in the fact that there was no style of play. It was resilient. And it was off a moment that we won it. Like, we haven't learnt anything from today. We've taken 3 points. We go into the next game. We haven't got a bloody clue what's going to happen. There's no momentum. There's winning momentum. There's, in some ways, the momentum is probably more important than a good performance, because it was resilient. It showed teamwork. It showed organisation, which we haven't seen. It showed grit. It showed hard work, which we haven't seen. So I think in that sense, you take a lot of positives. But the biggest positives are the win. And you couldn't get a more quintessential definition of a Moments FC. So if anybody's saying, oh, United are Moments FC, I'd say, give me some skin, bro. Of course we're Moments FC. We've kept a clean sheet, and he's buried an absolute banger of a volley to win the game. That's what it was. Mark, Ten Hag definitely had something to McTominay at half-time. I saw a better performance, but wow. Not wow, but his performance raised as Gur. I mean, to be honest with you, Scott McTominay couldn't have got any worse, could he? I mean, it was a bang average performance in the second half, and it was a terrible performance in the first half. But look, I think Burnley were toothless. They didn't really look. Look, let's be absolutely clear here. The 3 points are all that matters. We've taken the 3 points. I think hypocrisy reigns if you're being negative, because anybody would have took a crappy 1-0 at the start of the game. But if we're being completely honest, you put that team out against 75% of this league, you're going to get absolutely battered. You know, West Ham would batter us. Forget, people were going, imagine what Man City and Liverpool would do. Man City would destroy that. West Ham would destroy that team. So, look, we had the right opposition against for a team that wasn't that good. Solid win. Hannibal was like Pogba meets Fred, putting out fires everywhere. Clean sheet, says Plas. Ten Hag is trying his best to protect Garnacho. No point putting him in when the team is decimated with injuries. I've never heard such shit in all my life, Alan, with all due respect. I would take a scrappy win over great performance today, says Akash. Ronaldo as a teenager wasn't as selfish as Rashford is right now. It's infuriating because I want him to match Mbappe, but his decision making is so far away from that, says Galari. Mark, Garnacho needs to be brought on at least 65 minutes. Such a talented youngster, says Ethan. Well, let me talk to you about Garnacho right now. I was going to keep it back for a couple of minutes. Look, I have to say this. Because it's in my head, and it's been in my head for quite a while. Garnacho last season was incredible. For a breakthrough season, I thought he was fantastic. And he scored big goals for us. I mean, it's nearly a year ago that he got us 3 points at Fulham when we were shit. Right before the World Cup break, he got us 3 points against Fulham away from home, and we were shite. And he did it a few times last season. So Garnacho's had his breakthrough season. He is now in a position where he can't get on the pitch, even for 5 minutes. And it worries me because he's already had the season where you'd potentially put up with cameos because you're having a breakthrough season. He's signed the contract. He is a first team player and he can't get on the pitch. He's 18, 19, I don't know whether he's 19 now, but he can't get on the pitch. And he can't get on the pitch because you've got Bruno on one wing and Rashford on the other, and Ten Hag never takes them off. So how is Garnacho going to develop at this football club when the people who are playing in his positions never get taken off? Ten Hag will not trust that team without Rashford and Bruno in it. So how does Garnacho develop when he won't take off Rashford or Bruno when they're on the wing? So I'm worried about Garnacho because he can't be living off Carabao Cup games and 10 minutes. He should be starting games. And if he's not starting games, he should be playing at least half an hour every single game. And he won't use him. He will not use him. And I thought today, the substitution strategy was shit, to be honest with you. And I'm a massive Ten Hag fan, and I will back him against this ridiculous backlash that he faces. But the substitutions today were dicing not with death, but dicing with a draw. Burnley had like 70% possession in the second half. We were at no point safe, and we were at no point in charge. So I don't understand why you can't bring Garnacho on for Rashford, because Rashford, to be honest, was offering very little again. I don't get it. I don't know why you can't freshen it up. And also, I don't know why you wouldn't freshen it up and be looking to get a player game time that needs game time. It's a minor thing. And I might be completely wrong. All I'm saying is, I've noticed this in the last few games. He literally will not take Rashford off. And he will not take Bruno off. Well, there's only 4 places in the attack. In fact, there's only 3 places in the attack if Bruno's on the wing. And Garnacho's not a centre forward. So he literally cannot be brought on. And don't even get me started on Pellistri. Pellistri goes to Munich, puts an absolute shift in, gets dropped and doesn't even get on today. Mark, I think the game was awful. I would use other words if I could. Why the hell are we celebrating a win against players that are on 10 grand a week? No, Tom, I'll jump in here. I am concerned about Garnacho. I really am. I am not negative about the win. The win would be hypocrisy not to celebrate because we've lost our last 2 Premier League games. We've lost our last 3 games. We picked a really poor side out of necessity because of injury. We've kept a clean sheet and we've won a game. I don't think we've learnt anything in relation to play style, but as I said, how can you learn anything from a team that's got your 3rd choice left back, your 2nd choice right back, your 3rd choice centre back, and your 5th choice centre back in the back 4? It's got your 5th choice midfielder in McTominay, your 8th choice midfielder in Maybury. Like, come on, we've got to be realistic. If you're looking to see a vision for the future today, you're very naive. Like, that team is not the future. It really is. I mean, Johnny Evans was probably man of the match. He ain't the future. He's just been relegated with Leicester and he's 35. So you've really got to... I can't be critical of the results because we just needed 3 points. Like, I, more than anybody, wanted to see a vision for the future today. But as soon as that team news came out, if you think that's a vision for the future, you need to get yourself a pair of glasses. because that's not. That is literally, what the hell is that team and how do we win this game? And Ten Hag will come out and big it up because he has to. Because ultimately, he'll just be ecstatic with the result. How are you, Mark? I'm Irish and I think McTominay is the worst player I've ever seen step on a football shirt, says Dylers. Mark, I think this game was awful. I've done that one from Tom. Also, one positive is that Casemiro is looking sharper the past couple of games. Yeah, Morgan, and that shouldn't go unnoticed. I think the sharpness is coming back into Casemiro's game. Not many people understand the importance of Casemiro, says Jayesh. We are lacking tremendously with defenders that can move the ball quickly. It seems like every week we're talking about Erik ten Hag's substitution strategy and how bad it's been. Does he see something we don't? I'm confused, says Ivan. And Mark, Garnacho is 20 in this summer. How much game time do you think he will get before then? As I say, Tanner, it might not be that important. I'm just flagging it as something that concerns me because he will not take certain players off. And if you've got talent like Garnacho on the bench and he's not getting game time, that's a concern. How bad is the medical staff at United, says Zhao? What we got left? 3 fittish centre-backs and 1 full-back. What's next, says Ray. Evans has the Man United mentality instilled by Fergie. Sure, Ricky would agree, says Daniel. Welcome to Members Club. Tony. Johnny Evans is a better centre-back than Harry Maguire in 2023. Let that sink in, says Sultan. And hi, Mark. Love the show. Can't help but think Ten Hag is scared of subbing off Rashford for fear of backlash from the player, says Mark. And Mark, do you think Hannibal can become a contributor in the Fred mould, says Ola? I don't know. I don't think Hannibal Mabry would be anywhere near the team if we didn't have injuries. I don't know what the situation with injuries are. I mean, the scary thing is that Reguilon seemed to go off with an injury and Amrabat played at left back. So what are we going to see now? Amrabat at left back for the next few weeks and Scott McTominay next to Casemiro? What I will say is, if that team doesn't drastically change in the next game or two, we'll lose again. Like that team's going to get battered if it keeps playing together. That literally needed to be one off, got away with it, don't do it again. If he's going to put Amrabat at left back and play with that midfield, we will get beat. It's as simple as that. We got away with it today. Hallelujah. Brilliant result. That's all we need to do. But if he sticks with that team, it will get beat. I mean, look, Burnley just had 70% possession against it. Like, we've got to get some players back fit. Where's Mason Mount? Amrabat's got to play in the midfield. Ericsson didn't even get brought on today. I don't know what's going on. To me, it feels like there's a huge injury crisis. I love Ten Hag and I get he's under difficult circumstances. However, he's falling into a storyline that will be his downfall. His favouritism of Rashford and Bruno, his treatment of Pellistri will make Sancho's outburst right, says Casey. Sancho's outburst will never be right because he did it public. We'll never forget that. We've now got 5 now, 6 injuries in defence. What other team could deal with that amount of injuries at the same time, says Alan. And hi, Mark. I watched the game tonight. I'm thinking as a team, where do we go forward from here? And how do we improve in the midfield in the final third, says Adam. And Rashford didn't track back first half, then didn't pass to Casemiro second half. He needs to be taken out of the team. Time for Garnacho to get a run in the team, says Requiem. And we had a new doctor on the bench today. And the season is long. Fixtures will come hard and fast, so players will get their chance. Hard watch, but considering the starting lineup, a good result. The interesting thing is there, Mike, is that when you look at the squad, we actually have got a lot of options in the attack. Like Martial was unused, Garnacho was unused, and Pellistri was unused. You would hope that all 3 of those players get game time on Wednesday in the Carabao Cup. Surely that's an opportunity. Toby says, we're trash. Relegation battle incoming. And you were not happy when we signed Evans. Sure, not ambition signing, but in that game made more impact than Harry Maguire for 4 years. Hard battle tonight, says Georgie. Well, I suspect Johnny Evans is going to get man of the match in the player ratings. Rashford's playing like a little boy who is sad because his friends can't make the first team for various reasons, says Joseph. Lingard, Greenwood and Sancho. I don't think Rashford's friends with Greenwood. You might want to do some homework on that. Can I just say this? Remember, Marcus Rashford hasn't scored many goals recently as well. So he might have that thing in his head where he's got to score. Do you think Ten Hag should give Donny a chance, says Luca? No. I think that's going backwards, really. But then again, so's picking Scott McTominay. So, Luca Caliscio for Burnley looked really bright. What were your thoughts on the young winger, says Jaden? I mean, I'm not here to talk about Burnley. I'm here to talk about Manchester United. And Manchester United won the game. It is wrong that we don't take off players, says Robin. Before I do the player ratings, actually, I think Robin makes a good point. We bemoan our injuries, and yet Marcus Rashford, probably Bruno Fernandes, have just played 3 games in a week. You know, on the one hand, we're unlucky with injuries, and on the other hand, he's not taking certain players off. Without Rashford and Bruno, our team is nothing going forward, says Guso. Well, it clearly is nothing because we don't get to see anybody else apart from them. And I wouldn't take Bruno off. I would have took... You know what I don't understand about the subs today? And I'm going to leave it there. You could have took Mabry off and put Bruno at 10 and put Garnacho on. That's what I don't understand. I don't think Mabry's performance was that good. I think he did a job for the team, but I think Bruno's better there. And then you could have put Garnacho on the left. I don't know why he didn't do that. He still could have kept his favourite on. He still could have kept Rashford on. Why are folk getting carried away with the Evans? The guy should not be there. Glazer's deal, says Dazzo. I just think people like Johnny Evans and they're happy that he did well. I don't think it's anything more sinister than that. I genuinely don't think people think Johnny Evans can play centre-back consistently. I think there's probably 3 or 4 games where you get away with it. Burnley, Luton, Sheffield United, and maybe Everton. Bruno got man of the match, apparently. Just reading there. There are some comments from Ten Hag. I will bring those in, but I just want to get into the player ratings, and you can do yours. Links in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. This is what Erik Ten Hag had to say after the game. Team spirit was big. The battle, the fight, it's about winning. The last week was a lot against us. It's up to us, and we know that. Reguilon was ill, but he wanted to play, so that looks like it might be okay. And a brilliant goal by Bruno. Lovely play. In games like Munich and Arsenal, we played well in spells, but gave easy goals away. I mean, look, we can't compare Munich and Arsenal to Burnley. Munich tonight would have beat us 9-0, and so would Arsenal. You play your opposition. Thankfully, Burnley were toothless, and about as toothless as a basking shark, which was great. A few of you not happy in the chat. Well, look, the 3 points are all that matters. Any team with the injuries we've had would struggle. I do feel things are going to go against us at the moment, and hopefully things will improve, says Tom. Nice to see some positivity. Why are folk getting carried? Done that one. Right, okay. Let's do these player ratings. We've done Ten Hag's reaction there. Remember, we've got the fan forum coming up for you straight after this. So, player ratings are downloading now. No, they're not downloading. They're there. Right, Onana tonight. What did we think about Onana? Well, I'm very happy with Onana because I've got him in my fancy Premier League team. So I've got points for Bruno and I've got points for Onana. I'd say on reflection, Onana tonight maybe a 6.5. Yeah, 6.2. Yeah, I mean, one of the big frustrations about Onana at the moment is we spent 50 million quid on a ball-playing goalkeeper, and actually it would have made no difference to have De Gea in goal tonight. And what I mean by that is Onana was hitting long balls that weren't going to anybody. This ball-playing stuff that people talk about, we're just not doing it at the moment. So, it's frustrating from that point, but he kept a clean sheet tonight. Job done, and he'll be very happy with that after last week. Rashford will have trouble scoring as long as defenders never have to worry about him laying the ball off, says TJC. Delot tonight, I didn't really massively notice Delot tonight, I didn't notice him good or bad, so I'd give him a 6. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, a clean sheet as well. God, we need Delot at the moment, by the way. I mean, anybody who thinks that Delot was shit or wants to get on his back, he's massively important to this team. Again, I'd say Lindelof a 6 tonight. Didn't notice anything good or bad. I really do think Burnley were toothless. I really do. Johnny Evans, you've got to give him a 7. I agree. You've got to give him a 7. Scored a goal, little bit unlucky, but it probably was offside. That ball that he hits, not many centre-backs would hit that pass, by the way. So whatever you think about Johnny Evans as a centre-back or whatever, that pass he hit, like just Keevan said, there ain't many people that hit that pass. There's not many centre-backs that even think about hitting that pass. It was an incredible pass. Reguilon, again, a good shift for the team, 6. Yeah, very, very happy with him. Casemiro, 6.5 for me. Yeah, we're on. You know what? We're on track. We're doing really well. Smash a like on the video. I think we're all on track here. I'm not dissing Onana, but still holding on to the ball so slow. Do you know what, Ray? You know why Onana holds on to the ball so long? Because he ain't used to playing for a team that doesn't show for the ball. And Arne's holding on to the ball because he wants to play out from the back, but nobody wants to do it. I mean, Johnny Evans was actually shouting at McTominay to come and show for the ball, and he won't do it. Stop posting about dressing room leaks. That's where what those rats want publicly. Do not be part of their marketing team. No, real, we do shout about it because we shut it down. Rashford without goals is whatever, says Ian Coast. And Maguire's wages to be fifth choice is frustrating, says Gil. Well, Maguire's injured. We shouldn't be talking about him. Scott McTominay, 4 for me tonight. First half was dreadful. Second half was better. But, you know, he's lucky. He's really lucky. I mean, he started against Brighton. I think he started against Brighton last week. Absolutely terrible. He came on against Bayern. Worse. And then he starts tonight. He's really lucky we've got an injury crisis. And we're very lucky that we've won tonight because, you know, there's nothing to say, is there? What do you think about... Yeah, I'm not reading that out, R2. I'm not an idiot. Mabry, I'd give him a 6.5 just because, you know, it's a difficult game to come into. He's a young player. I don't think Mabry played that well. I think he's a likeable guy and you can hype up a young player's performance. I don't think he was that good, but I don't think he was bad. And, you know, at the end of the day, we've won the game and a young player should always be nurtured and given confidence. And I thought Mabry was okay tonight. What are your thoughts on Sky Sports saying Ten Hag only got the job because no one else wanted to come and that he is basically overrated, says Jack? I've not heard that, Jack. Not heard that at all. Yeah, look, I think just on Mabry, some people are giving him a 7, some people are giving him a 4, which is why I gave him a 6. I don't think it was this scintillating performance some people think, and I don't think it was this shit performance some people think. I think it was an okay performance. Bruno Fernandes, probably 6.5, actually. You know, if you want honesty, I've been honest about Mabry. I'll be honest about Bruno. The goal was absolutely incredible. But the overall performance, unfortunately, again, and I'm a massive fan of Bruno, and I think Rashford gets a lot of stick, but I thought Bruno's overall performance wasn't as good as it probably should have been. I think he misplaced a lot of passes. He will always work hard. There is no doubt about that. And the goal was world class, and we can give him a 9 for the goal. The goal was brilliant, but overall, a 6.5 for me. And he worked hard as he always does, as Xander said. And I'm a massive fan of Bruno Fernandes. But, you know, at the end of the day, he was playing out of position, and I think it showed at times. He was right wing, he was left wing. I don't think Bruno Fernandes plays well on the wing. I really don't. I think he's capable of doing what he did, but he's capable of a lot more when he's more central. So I'm only going to be honest there. This is the one I've not been looking forward to. Yeah, I think with Rashford tonight, what do I give him? 5. I think a 5. Yeah, I think a 5 is probably about right. Yeah, I think a 5 is about right. Yeah, I think a 5 is about right, and I don't really feel I have to comment. I think he should have been taken off again. Never happens. I don't think he was dreadful. I don't think he was good. I think it's probably a fair reflection of where Rashford is at the moment. It's just not going right. As a fan of Rashford, what I would say is that look, is Rashford world class? I said 6 months ago, Marcus Rashford has got the potential to win the Ballon d'Or. At the moment, that looks like a stupid comment. But 6 months ago, it looked like a forward-thinking comment. And I think this is the problem with Rashford, is he's not going to win the Ballon d'Or, is he? Because he can't be consistent. When he's in a hot vein of form, brilliant. 4 goals in 30 games, someone said in the chat. When Rashford's in form, he tends to do it in a run of games. When he's out of form, he tends to do it in a run of games. And at the moment, people would say he's overrated, he's not worth the money, he's crap. But when he's in form, people will start going, he's one of the world's best players. And that's the problem with Rashford. It's either up here or down here. My only criticism of Rashford is with Ten Hag. He should be taking him off. You know, Garnacho, Pellistri, Martial, there's 3 options there that surely would offer more than he did in the last 20 minutes. And what I like Rashford, I rate Rashford, but what is tiring me at the moment is we are treating him like he's Lionel Messi or he's Kylian Mbappe or he's Cristiano Ronaldo or he's Neymar. You can't be subbed. You stay on every minute. You are the superstar. Everybody bow down to Marcus Rashford. And I think that's where Ten Hag is getting it wrong. I like Rashford. He should be subbed. He should have been subbed at least 2 times this week, and he's not been subbed once. And that's on the manager. That's not on the player. We slated McTominay for not showing for the ball. Maybe had the second least amount of touches on the team today. Not showing for the ball, just ran a lot, says Zachary, which is why I gave him an average 6, mate. I love Erik Ten Hag, and he gets under difficult circumstances. However, he's failing into a storyline that will be his downfall, his favouritism of Rashford, says KC. We should never give any merit for anything less than a good performance. Rashi was a joke, says Tom Kent. And speaking on the Garnacho situation, did you see Real Madrid started a profile on him on Ornstein, says Sebastian. I don't think Garnacho will hang around at Man United if they're going to kill his progression. Sky Sports have just started saying that now, after the match experts, some absolutely horrible takes from the usual suspects like Carragher and Richards. Mate, just ignore it. Like, if you're going to have a pop at Man United because of that team tonight, you're an idiot. I don't care if you're Mika Richards, Jamie Carragher, or, Tony Blair. It makes no difference to me. There's context. That is not Man United's best team. The centre-back who was man of the match is 5th choice centre-back. The left-back was 3rd choice left-back. McTominay is 6th choice midfielder. Mabry's probably 9th choice midfielder. How can you make an honest assessment of Man United and their prospects for the season to come when that team is ridiculous? Like, it is what it is. It wasn't an easy watch, but it is what it is. And as Ray says, based on all the injuries, who do you think we are missing most? I'd include returning players like Varane. Look, Ray, imagine we played Burnley tonight with a midfield of Casemiro, Amrabat and Bruno, and a front 3 of Rashford, Garnacho and Højlund, and a back 4 of Shaw, Martinez, Varane and Wan-Bissaka. It's suddenly a massively, massively different story, isn't it? Højlund tonight, you know what I think about Højlund. I think he's, so exciting. But I already saw it in the watch-along tonight. People leaking in and talking about, I think he's a flop. He's 20 years of age. He's had one breakout season in Serie A, and people are talking about him like he's meant to be Erling Haaland. Now, Erling Haaland might only be 23, but he was banging goals in for Dortmund for a couple of years. Rasmus is not the finished article, and the sooner people realise this, the better. So when people are saying, he doesn't look that good, he doesn't look that sharp, he's a bit naive, of course he bloody is. He's 20 years of age, he's had one season, and it wasn't even a full season at Atalanta. Like, he is not being brought into this club to be Erling Haaland or any other striker that's ready to go. And if you've got no patience for him, you've not got the brief. I'll give him 5.5 tonight, which is about right. Rafael Varane, look, I think Varane came on and showed quality. 6. Amrabat, hardly saw him. 6. Ten Hag tonight, really hard to rank. Performance-wise, was terrible, but you'd expect that with the team. Result-wise, fantastic. Substitutions, confusing. I'd give him a 6. I don't know how you can give him a 5. Bloody hell. I don't know how you can give him a 5 in the circumstances. My man of the match, I'm just thinking on my scores. You know what I've got to give it to Johnny Evans. I mean, I don't think there's really that many candidates. Johnny Evans or Casemiro for me, not Bruno. Oh my God. There we go. So Bruno Fernandes got man of the match, I would say, because of the worldie. Second place was Johnny Evans with 18% of the vote. So, yeah, there you go. I got to say, I think that Johnny Evans was probably robbed in that circumstance. Yeah, and I don't know why, but yeah, I would certainly give it to Johnny Evans if I'm being honest. But there we go. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. Take the 3 points. Go and do what you'd normally do on a Saturday night. And let's move on. because we are learning nothing from tonight apart from we won 3 points. And all we've got to do is just take it on the chin and smile and say we won and ignore the rivals who really don't understand what's going on at this football club, which is what we need to do every single day. Thanks everyone for watching tonight. I know it was difficult at times, but we got the 3 points, and look, we'll see what's going to happen next. Let's get over to the fan forum, by the way. They are live already in the studio and waiting for you. Let's see what they've got to say. Speak to you all in a bit.